Hey there guys, what's going on? Today we've got another video in our Best Weapons of Modern Warfare series. Season 2 has of course added in those two new weapons for us to play with, and we've already covered the Grau 556. There'll be a link in the top right if you haven't gone and seen that already, go check it out. The next weapon we're going to take a look at is of course the Striker 45, which is basically a middle of the road SMG. It's not going to compete with the MP5 for the best SMG in the game, so anyone making videos telling you that the Striker 45 is overpowered, they're lying. I mean, you guys know that I would never lie to try and mislead you with any of my titles. I do have you covered with the best class setup for the Striker 45, which like I said is a pretty decent weapon in this game. It does mean headshot damage. Like if you are hitting those headshots, you will drop people super quickly. This gun feels like a less powerful assault rifle with SMG handling. It's actually pretty cool to use. It's not the most powerful, but it's still pretty fun to use. But before we do get into our class setup here, let's try and get this one to 10 likes. The support has been absolutely massive for the videos recently, so mad props to you guys for supporting me and my videos. Even the ones that are a little bit weird like this one here. So make sure you do hit that subscribe button with those notifications turned on so you get notified when my videos go live. If everyone sub got 2 friends to subscribe, we'd almost be at 1,000 subscribers, which would be completely crazy. Right, so let's talk about the best class setup for the Striker 45. Okay, so as I said, the Striker 45 feels like a less powerful assault rifle with SMG handling, which is an interesting concept. It's basically an AUG with seemingly better range, but worse recoil. This gun definitely is not the most powerful, but this is definitely the way to make it as effective as it can be. We've definitely maxed out the Striker 45 here with this class setup, and eventually I'm pretty sure that they'll end up giving this a buff. Maybe a decrease to the recoil or an increase to the damage or range, because it could certainly use some adjusting. I feel like the DLC weapons should be on the more powerful side of balance, because you do actually have to work for it. You do have to do a little bit of grinding, so no one's going to want to level up your battle pass if the weapons they do get once they get there are no good. So out of the 2 DLC weapons we've received in Season 2 so far, I definitely prefer the Grau 556, but the Striker 45 is still a fun weapon to use. Right, so starting off with our sidearm perks and grenade choices here, we'll go over them quite quickly because they are the same in all of my classes. Our sidearm is the 357 snake shot revolver, and we've got 2 of them. We've got the long barrel, the 5mm laser, the lightweight trigger, the snake shot, and the akimbo perk of course. Perk 1 is Kill Chain here. Kill Chain is just really powerful to get that cruise missile into VTOL, into advanced UAV. It's super strong in this game. Perk 2 is of course Ghost, which really helps you stay off those radars and that UAV there. Plus if you do get advanced UAV, you'll be harder to track down. Perk 3 is of course Battle Hardened, still because flashes and stuns in this game are still super busted. In the lethal slot, we've of course got the C4, which is really strong for clearing out areas on maps and stuff like that. And the tactical is the stim shot because I'm sweaty as heck. So starting off with the attachments here, in the muzzle slot we've gone with everybody's favourite, the monolithic suppressor. Damage range and sound suppression are really powerful on this gun, and I feel like this and the compensator are 2 of the best options for most weapons. Like, it's usually hard to go past extended range with the monolithic suppressor or recoil control with the compensator. Like, the other options are never going to be super usable. Like, they're not super useful, they don't really offer you too much, but these 2 usually offer you the best stat bonuses. We do of course lose a little bit of aim down sight speed and aim walking steadiness and stability respectively, but we can of course make up for what we lose here with other attachments. You're going to be getting for the most part 4 to 5 shot kills, so extending that range out a little bit further is really powerful. I do really love the monolithic suppressor and the compensator in this game, and they're definitely the best attachments in the muzzle slot. So for this particular class setup, we have gone with the muzzle slot in the monolithic suppressor option. Our next attachment, we've got the barrel slot. We've got the 400mm stainless steel barrel. This is that barrel option for the Striker 45, does give you that damage range, bullet velocity, and recoil control. This is always the perfect set of stats and the best option for pretty much every weapon in this game. Like, everything would basically like to shoot a little bit further, a little bit faster, and be a little bit more accurate, and the Striker 45 is of course no exception to that. There is supposed to be another option that you can pick here. The 300mm poly barrel is supposed to offer you damage range and bullet velocity, but according to posts that I have seen, it's currently bugged as of me making this video. Apparently it does decrease your range by about 12% instead of increasing it, which is hilarious. But as far as I know, this is being fixed of course, so if you are interested in using this barrel, maybe give it a little bit until they come out and say, yep, we fixed it. But currently the best option that we can work with does make this weapon pretty good. It's not overpowered by any stretch, but it definitely isn't an absolute trash can like I've seen people saying both things, and they're both wrong. The gun's fine, like it's never going to be a standout weapon, like it's never super powerful, but it's not terrible. If you do hit those headshots, you will drop people very quickly. So of course in the barrel slot we do have the 400mm option. We have of course skipped the laser slot. There's always an argument to be made for the tac laser here. It's just such a powerful option with most SMGs, and ARs, of course, but with this, we've not really got enough attachment slots. I feel like we're making full use of our other attachments here, so we don't need that tack laser. The same goes in the optic slot as well. Like, the iron sights in this gun aren't super great, but you can sort of get away with using them. They're not terrible, but I would like to use a GI mini reflex on this, but we sort of, again, don't have enough room with these other attachments taking up useful slots. And again, the same for the stock and the perk slots. I feel like you're not really getting enough benefit out of these to warrant taking up a stock. But if you did want to use one, the XRK Gen 3 Survivalist series is a very good option with that aim down sight speed. And sleight of hand is always usable in the perk slot. So moving down to an actual attachment here, we have the rear grip tape slot. And of course, we've got everyone's favorite, the FTAC G5 EXO. Again, not the stipple grip tape, but the same stats. Aim down sight speed and sprinter fire speed are some of the best stats that you can have on pretty much every gun in this game. Running around with an SMG being aggressive, you'll always want to get those sights up as quickly as possible. Plus, sprinter fire speed can actually save your life in some circumstances, so it does feel really strong to be running around and sprinting everywhere with those sights up as quick as they can be. Another tip in my class setups, if you do pick the heaviest, largest barrel, you'll always want to throw on the stipple grip tape, or at least whatever gives you those stats. Really helps balance out the handling that you do lose from having those monster barrels, and it's a really powerful combination. It's how I make most of my classes, and it does work for me. So of course, in the rear grip slot, we've got the FTAC G5 EXO. In the ammo slot, we have, of course, got the 45 round magazines. Here, the stock Striker 45 does have 25 round magazines already. They do feel a little bit short, I'm not going to lie to you, so when you're trying to kill more than one person, you'll probably need more than 25 bullets, especially if somebody else comes around the corner. Like, one person for like 25 is more than enough, but a second person comes around, third person, you might be struggling a little bit. So if you're playing on Rust or those smaller maps, you'll definitely need more bullets. So 45 round magazines are, of course, our simple choice, the simple answer for a simple question. Do you need more bullets? The answer is yes, of course. Then you get more bullets. Pretty easy. And lastly, we do need something to tackle that recoil from the Striker 45. It does bounce around a little bit sometimes, and that is our underbarrel slot. We do, of course, have the Ranger foregrip here for that recoil control and aiming stability. We do lose a bit of aim walking movement speed and aim down sight speed, but like I said, we can get that back from other attachments, so it's no real big deal. Striker does definitely have a little bit of kick, as I said, no lie. The recoil can be a little bit unreliable at times, so you can struggle at those medium to longer ranges. The foregrip here, the Ranger, of course, does help us a little bit, makes us a bit more reliable, and you'll definitely be hitting more shots with this. You could also make a case for the Merc foregrip as well. It's a good option that gives you hip fire accuracy instead of that aiming stability, which if you're being more aggressive, you can definitely get away with hip firing people with this thing. Give it a try, test these for yourself. Both are good, but I've gone with the Ranger foregrip. So this is our full attachment setup, and our full class is here. Basically, all of the attachments that we have chosen here make the Striker 45 as powerful as it can be. It definitely does need a buff at some point, so overall, this is not one of my favorite weapons to be using at the moment, but it's still pretty good. Like, it's still serviceable. It's definitely not the absolute dumpster fire that I've seen people claiming it to be, but it's also not the most overpowered weapon in the game. I definitely see both sides of this argument, and they're both ridiculous. Like, it's not the UMP 45 people do remember. It's definitely not as strong as it used to be, but it's still a fun weapon to level up and use. If you are looking for a weapon that's not at the top of the meta, but is a little bit different and still usable, look no further than the Striker 45. It's pretty fun to use. If you did enjoy this one, make sure you do leave a like and do subscribe if you are new around here. We're getting very close to 500 subscribers now, and it really does help me out by letting me know that you're enjoying what I'm putting out. Thank you very much for watching, guys. I do appreciate it, of course, and I will see you in the next video. Bye!